Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton and today's record is not Frank Sinatra's Watertown, but I want to bring up Watertown for this video. And I know Watertown has a bit of a cult following. I myself am one of those followers. I love Watertown. And it's one of Frank's most ambitious albums, and just artistically, it's a fantastic record. If you don't know Watertown, you definitely should. It's a wonderful record. But I do want to talk about today's daily record, which is The Four Seasons, the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette. Now, the reason I brought up Watertown as sort of a rough introduction to this one is that this album is sort of the prequel to Watertown. And by saying that, what I mean is it was written by Bob Gaudio, who also produced this album. He wrote the material on Watertown for Frank, which is a concept record. But this is The Four Seasons, 1969, January of 1969. And I'm going to kind of unfold it. It's a fun gatefold. It reads like a newspaper. And it's got like all these great sort of articles. But, you know, if you know that early Four Seasons sound, you are going to be really probably shocked by what you hear on the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette. What they did, they teamed up with Jake Holmes. And this is also a concept album like Watertown. And it's a psychedelic pop album. And it really kind of carries the influence of sort of the late 60s. And it gets the Four Seasons away from that sort of traditional sound. So instead of the love songs, which they were kind of well known for, this album has themes like war, obviously a big deal in the late 60s, racial tension, and of course the packaging, which I'm showing you, it sort of looks like a stylized newspaper. It's like 8 pages in here. It also has an insert that was included in the album. And there's the Four Seasons looking rather hip right there. Looking good. But it had this little 8-page sort of newspaper insert with these ads like Country Joe's Fish for your cat, 1 cent. Electric Prunes, other label mates, Beatles, $1.98, chocolate covered Beatles, kind of fun stuff. But they carried the theme all the way through this. It had comic strips, and Skip Williamson and Jay Lynch were the artists on those. Just a really kind of out there album. Now, funny enough, the first single from this album, Saturday's Father, it was released in middle 1968, almost half a year before the album was actually released. It never made the top 100 on the Billboard charts. There were a couple of other singles, Idaho and Something's on Her Mind, but they didn't do anything either. They just kind of barely got into the top 100. So there were no major hits on this album, but it is definitely the most odd album that the Four Seasons ever did. It's a concept album, and it basically is taking a satirical look at American life. You might even say it's an Americana album. Now some guys were really experimenting with this. I go back to Brian Wilson and what he was doing with Smile, but just a very out there album, especially from a band like the Four Seasons. So if you think you know the Four Seasons, or if you're just a fan of Sinatra's Watertown, I highly recommend looking for and seeking out Genuine Imitation Life Gazette from the Four Seasons. I think you will be shocked by what you hear. And like I said, Bob Gaudio really was an interesting writer. He had a unique look at American life. And so this is the prequel, the one to get. So fans of this album, if you know it, let me know down below. Tell me what you think about it. Fans that don't like this album, that love the Four Seasons but hate this one, let me know. I want to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. Also check out my other channel, my regular vinyl community channel. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Daily Record.